Hi there, welcome back to our final vlog in our series of The Spirit of Money. Today we are going to be speaking about the 7 golden rules for success. And I believe that each and every one of these are essential if you are going to produce financial abundance in your life, which is probably why you're watching this series. So the first one is called Mentor with the Wealthy. I'll say that again. Number 1, mentor with the wealthy. I'm always amazed by how many people take financial advice from people who are either in the same situation as they are or in a worse situation. You want to choose somebody who has achieved great financial success and go and find out what it is that they did in order to be financially successful. I was very blessed because I remember at the age of about 30 years old, I met a man by the name of Christo Troutman, a very good friend of mine. In fact, that saying of "you are a magnificent radiant being of light," that's something I got from Christo Troutman. And Christo is a very financially successful man. You'd never say it if you met him, by the way. You would never, ever say it. I used to pull up in my BMW 330i convertible next to his Toyota Corolla, and I was like, spot the wealthy guy. He was loaded, and I was like paying off my car for like 6,000 Rand a month at the time. And I remember saying to him, "But Christo, how come you drive a Toyota Corolla?" He says, "Robin, do you enjoy driving your BMW?" I said, "Oh man, it gives me so much pleasure." I said, "I love opening the roof, I love the wind in my hair, I love that I've got a great sound system." I said, "I thoroughly enjoy it." He says, "So if you can afford it, enjoy it. If you can afford it, enjoy it." He says, "For me, it really, whether I drive your car or my car, it really doesn't do that much for me. But there are other things that I spend money on which give me joy, which might not give you joy. So if that's where you want to spend your money and you can afford to do it, that's fine." But I always thought it was very funny because he'd pull up in his Toyota Corolla and I had the BMW. But he was the wealthy guy. But I mentored with him and I asked him, "Christo, please coach me on being financially successful." And he made his money in property. And I remember when I wanted to buy my first property, well, he coached me with my first property. But when I found it particularly powerful was when he helped me with my second property, which was in Sea Point. I saw a property which was going for, they wanted 499,000 Rand for a 2-bedroom flat in Ocean View Drive. And I thought, this is absolutely ridiculous, 499,000. So I counter-offered and I said I'd give them 420,000. And they came back and they said they'd accept 435,000 Rand. And I went back to Chris, I said, "I am not going to give them the 435,000 Rand. It's 420, I think that's my bottom." And he said to me, Robin, he says, "Really, what's 15,000 Rand to you?" I said, 15,000 Rand's a lot of money. And it was a lot of money. He says, "Yes, but you need to think in the larger scheme of things." He says, "I promise you that 5 years from now, this 15,000 Rand is going to mean, it's going to be like 100 Rand to you. Trust me, just buy the property." So I was like, okay, Christo, my mentor said I should buy it. And I paid 435,000 Rand for that property. And today, 15 years later, they've just offered me, I think the last offer was 3.5 million for the same property. And that BMW, I lost 150,000 Rand in 3 years. Interesting. Mentor with the wealthy. Find out what the people, most of us, by the way, drive cars we can't afford to impress people we don't know. Now, please don't get me wrong, I like a sexy car. But I've learned my lesson, I've learned it the hard way. Cars aren't a great investment, I enjoy them, don't get me wrong, and I'll always drive a sexy car. But, mentor with the wealthy. Spend time with people who have done what you want to achieve and then learn from them. Read books. Robert Kiyosaki's book on Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I still think is one of the best books ever. It's an amazing book. Money, Success, and You. Tony Robbins has just come up with a new book. I forget the title, but he's just created a new book on financial success. But spend time in learning from the people who have achieved what you'd like to do. The second one, which I'm not going to cover, but it is a golden rule. The reason I'm not going to cover it, we've spoken about it. Make sure that you have empowering beliefs around money. Money is good. Love the good that money can do. Opportunities are everywhere. My subconscious mind is my partner in success. So abundance is the law of the universe. Make sure that you have empowering beliefs. Use your affirmations. that money is flowing to me in oceans of abundance. That's the second golden rule for success. The third golden rule is to find your passion. I read a book once which was called Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my career at the time. I was working for a youth leadership program called the Rally Project. I thoroughly enjoyed what I was doing, but I was earning 5,000 Rand a month. And I just found it wasn't cutting it. I wasn't able to pay the bills. And when I read this book called Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow, I thought, well, do I love what I'm doing? I thought, I absolutely love what I do. I can't believe that people actually even pay me. It wasn't much, but people pay me to teach young people. It was so amazing for me. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to stay in my career. Little did I know that I could continue doing that and that money would follow. So find your passion. And another key thing I'd recommend is make sure that whatever you do, you want to make more money, add more value. Find out what it is that you can give more. Find out what they want. Go and get it and give it to them. Give it to them in abundance. Add more value. That's something I learned from Tony Robbins. You want to be successful? Add more value. Go the extra mile. Do more than the other person will do. So for me, as you know, in my mind power, and by the way, it's not even about making money, but I do think it is what helps my success. As you know, I'll be prepared to stay there until 1 o'clock in the morning if I need to answer your questions, because I want to add value and make a difference in people's lives. And I believe that that's one of the keys and one of the golden rules to success. Number 4, which we've discussed many, many times, make sure that your financial goals are crystal clear. So I like to have 4 specific goals. I like to know what my turnover is for the year. I like to know what the profit margin is. And then I like to know how much money am I going to donate. It's usually a percentage of the profit. Usually about 10% of my profit is what I want to donate and give away. And we'll speak about that in a moment. And then the 4th one is how much am I going to invest of the money I've made. So those are my 4 goals. My turnover, my profit margin, my donation amount, and my investment amount. The 5th one we've spoken about, but I'll mention it because it is one of the golden rules for success. Work smart, not hard. Make sure that you are doing the right thing. That 20% of your actions gives you 80% of your results. So are you doing the right 20%, or are you spending time, wasting time, doing things that other people could probably do more effectively and rather do the things that you should be doing? That's where you should be spending your time. What is it that you do well that no one can do the way you do it, and focus your attention on that? Work smart, not hard. And then number 6 is one of my favorites, and that is tithing. I believe that if you want to be financially successful, I think you should give 10% of what you make away. Now, it's usually a percentage, and usually it's about 10% of what you make, that it's not yours. Don't see it as your money, but see it as something you're going to give away. I've shared this story before, and some of you might be aware of it, but I'll never forget reading a book called Conversations with God. And in the book Conversations with God, the author asked a question. And the question that he asked was, why is it that so many people struggle with money? Why is it that the vast majority of people on this planet struggle with money? Why? And the answer that came back is because you believe that there's not enough. You believe that there's a limited amount, and that is why you don't have money, because you act as if there's a limited amount. So he says, for example, you're walking past a beggar in the street, and you have this flush come over you that you just want to give him some money. And you think, yeah, I'm going to give him some money, and you put your hand into your pocket, and you want to give him $5. And as you walk past him, you suddenly remember, hold on, if I give him $5, that means I've only got $2 left, because I only got $7 in my pocket, so he's going to have more than me. So you start looking around in your pocket for some coins or some change, and you end up walking past the beggar, and you're going, hello, hi, and you don't give. Whereas if you just trusted that initial impulse, and you gave, what you'd realize is that there's so much more where that came from. And when I read that, I thought, okay, the next time I have an opportunity, I'm going to give. Now be careful what you ask for, because the universe will give you an abundance of opportunities to do so. A few days later, I went to a movie, and as I parked my car, a car guard came up to me, and he says, hi, my name is John. He says, I'll watch your car for you while you're in the movie, and when you come back, you can give me whatever feels right in your heart. Those were his exact words. It's almost like God placed him. When you come back, you can give me whatever feels right in your heart. I went to the movie. On my way out, I was busy chatting to my girlfriend about the movie, and I saw John standing there faithfully next to my car. And I put my hand into my pocket, because I usually used to tip about 5 rand, and 50 cents in dollars. And I used to tip for 5 rand to give someone, for looking after my car, 2 rand or 5 rand. In fact, 2 rand is what I used to tip, 2 rand. And I suddenly remembered that I don't have any change left, and I only had 1 money left in my wallet, 1 money. And I thought, well, I'm not going to give him that. So I turned to my girlfriend and I was about to ask her if she had a 2 rand coin for me to tip the car guard. And I remembered the promise I made, that the next time I have an opportunity, I'm going to give, and I'm going to give with abundance. And I thought, no, wait a minute. I know I said I'm going to give, but I mean, this is crazy. And I was like, I'm not going to give him that. So I immediately started walking faster, because there was a dialogue happening in my mind that was going to talk me out of giving. And my girlfriend even says to me, what's going on? So I said, never mind, come. She says, what's the rush? I said, quick, because I was afraid I'm not going to give him the money. So I walked up to him, and as I got there, I opened my wallet, and I did it very quickly because I was afraid I was going to go, and I whipped out a 100 rand note. Now, in case you can't figure it out, when you're used to tipping 2 rand, 100 rand is 50 times more. That was a lot of money for me, a hell of a lot. And I gave it to him. I said, thank you so much for looking after my car. And I'll never forget the way this guy took the money. As he took the money, he went, oh, God bless you! And in that moment, I was so blessed. He said it so unconditionally that I literally felt my energy in my body was vibrating at a different frequency. I got into the car and I said to my girlfriend, I said, wow, I feel amazing. I feel so alive. And I said, you know what? If it feels this good to give, I'm going to give. And ever since that day, I have made it a habit that I trust my intuition. I don't always tip. Sometimes it doesn't feel right. But if it feels right, I trust my intuition. But here's a habit. I make sure that every single month I take 10% of what I make and I give it away to make a difference in somebody else's life. You can do it in different ways. You can do it for organizations. Sometimes I'll pay for somebody's groceries. It's a lovely feeling. Just try it. Like the next time you see, sometimes people can't afford much. And I mean, I remember once saying to a woman, wouldn't it be nice if someone just paid for your groceries? She says, yeah, right. Like that's ever going to happen. I said, well, maybe today's your lucky day. She says, why? I said, well, let me pay for it. And this woman was like, are you crazy? So I said, totally, I am nuts. And I paid for her groceries. It was such a wonderful feeling. So, and it wasn't really that much. I think her groceries were like 57 rand. It wasn't much. So tithing, because you see what happens when you tithe. What you're saying to your subconscious mind is you've got something to give. And as you give, so shall you receive. So that's the 6th golden rule. And then the 7th golden rule for financial abundance in the spirit of money is to have fun. Don't take money so seriously. We get so serious around money. I love bartering. In fact, I was in Thailand once and I was taught that one of the things you got to do is you barter. You don't just pay the price. And I remember bartering with this woman and she wanted like 20 baht. I said, no, 5 baht, 5 baht. She said, no, okay, 18 baht, 8. I said, no, 5, okay, 6 baht, 6 baht. And she was like, no. And eventually like, okay, 10 baht, 10 baht. So I said, okay, 10 baht, 10 baht. And this one, like, okay, thank you. But she was so happy when she's like, 10 baht, okay, thank you. And then I gave her 50. You should have seen the look on her face. She was like, oh! And by the way, 50 baht, I can't even remember, but it's like 10 rand or something. It just wasn't a lot of money. But I enjoyed playing with her and then giving her more than she had asked for because, I mean, it meant so much more to her. But I enjoy it. I have fun. Money's, it's energy. So what I wanted to share with you in this vlog series is that money, like everything else, is about energy and vibration. And if you have a fun attitude around it and you enjoy your relationship with it, I don't always do it. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I have stresses around money. But generally the idea is to have fun and stop taking it so seriously. So those are the 7 golden rules for money. And that is just to go over mentor with the wealthy, empowering beliefs, make sure you have empowering beliefs, find your passion and make sure you add more value, make sure you've got clearly defined goals, work smart, not hard, make sure that you're doing your tithing, and number 7, make sure you're having fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the last vlog in our series on the spirit of money. I look forward to being with you again next week when we'll be discussing a whole new topic. Go well, and as always, don't forget to be awesome.